Good afternoon, YouTube family. My name is Angela Platt, and the name of my channel is Channel4Change. I hope that you get something out of this channel. The reason why I put this channel together is because I want to be a part of the change. A part of the change. As you know, we are in the second day of June 2020, and the nation as a whole is in an uproar due to the final straw that broke the camel's back. George Floyd died an unnecessary death. He was murdered. He was suffocated. In modern day language, I would like to say that he was lynched. He was pressed down on the ground and had a knee put into his neck while he cried for his mother. Now, I'm a mother, and I have 2 grown sons, and I would never, ever want to find out that my sons called for me. They called me by my name, and I wasn't there to answer. Because I can guarantee you, if Mr. Floyd's mother was there, it would have been a different result. Not necessarily better, but I know she would have answered the call. And this is not a channel for venting. This is not a channel for cussing and fussing and carrying on. I'm going to let the media do that. I'm going to let those people who don't know any better do that. Some of those people hold special political positions. The word is strong. The word is a 2-edged sword. The word cannot go out and come back void. Because if it does, that means he is not Lord. Now, I'm not a Bible scholar, but I do know that prayer changes things. And I was clear, and I'm going to do the very best I can to hold myself accountable when I said that every time I put out a video, I'm going to pray for one person, just one. And it's my prayer that you come into agreement with me, that you will also just pray for one person, just one, for that time. I'm not asking you to become something that you are not. I am asking you to help me to make a change. I find it really hard to believe that if all of us don't get together on one accord, pray, talk, do, teach, that we can't make a change. I shared with you that I will continue to have this channel and call out every black person's name who was killed, murdered unnecessarily. What happened to just talking sometimes? Okay? And guess what? Gary Owen, a white comedian, said that. What happened to talking first? Okay? Words have power. Words bring life. Words bring death. Let your yeses be your yeses and let your no's be your no's. And I'm here to help the people who are downtown DC, not just DC, but downtown in the area that they live in. I'm here. I'm on the battleground with you. I'm putting myself out there the same way you're putting yourself out there, because I'm hoping to receive constructive criticism. I stand with you. I applaud you. You get more than a pat on the back. You're a warrior. You're out there facing off to things that are bigger than both you and I together. What we're dealing with now is bigger than you, is bigger than me, is bigger than my children, is bigger than your children. Well, we're talking about our destiny. We're talking about our forever tomorrows. When I'm no longer here, I want to make sure that I left footprints that my children can carry on into. Not only my children, but my children's children. And I am so good, godly grateful that we have a platform where we can discuss things and we can come together, black, white, male, female, old, young, straight or gay, married, single, engaged, dating, homeowner, apartment renter, um, people who are employed, underemployed, not employed. We have got to get together. We got to do something different. There has to be a change. I would love for all of us to get together. Everybody who lives and breathes on a day of solidarity, on a day of prayer, just praying. Just everybody get together. The Lord has to hear. You know, evil cannot outweigh a righteous prayer. Winners win. Okay? Winners win. Terry Lee Chapman was murdered April 2015. No officers have been charged with the crime for killing Terry. William Chapman was murdered April 22, 2015. The officer was charged and convicted of manslaughter for killing Mr. William. He was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. Now, I'm not a politician, but I can almost guarantee you that if any black person, male or female, had killed a white individual, 2.5 years would have been a vacation compared to what they got, what the black person would have received. Okay? He received 2.5 years. Let's just leave it at that. Mr. Samuel Harrell was murdered April 21st, 2015 in Beacon, New York. No officers were charged with the crime for killing Mr. Samuel. Mr. Jason Champion was murdered May 2015 in Ridgefield, New Jersey. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Jason. Mr. Bryant Overstreet. I apologize up front. This is not the best platform. I'm doing the best I can. Let me put it that way. Mr. Brian Overstreet was murdered April 28, 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Brian. Mr. David Felix was murdered in New York April 25, 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Mr. David. Brandon Glenn was murdered in Los Angeles, California. He was murdered May 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Brandon. Reginald Moore was murdered May 2015. The officer was charged with the murder for killing Reginald. Nuwan LaRoche. I hope I said that correctly, and I do apologize if I didn't. Her name is spelled Nuwnah. I'm pronouncing it Nuwan LaRoche. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Nuwan. Dawan Graham was murdered May 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Dawan. Marcus Clark was murdered May 2015. No officer, this was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Marcus. Mr. Lorenzo Hayes was murdered May 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Lorenzo. D'Angelo Stallworth was murdered May 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing D'Angelo. Mr. Ross Anthony was murdered June 2015. No officer was charged with crime for killing Mr. Ross. Richard Gregory Davis was murdered May 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Richard. Curtis Jordan was murdered May 31st, 2015. No officers have been charged with the killing of Mr. Jordan. Chris Jackson was murdered June 2015 in Salt Lake Tahoe, California. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Chris. Kevin Higginbotham. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Kevin. He was murdered June 2015 in Trenton, New Jersey. Jermaine Benjamin was murdered June 2015 in Vero Beach, Florida. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Jermaine. Zamil Crawford was murdered June 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime of killing Zamil. Kevin Bajo or Bahoy, Bajoie, June 2015, murdered. No officer has been charged with the killing for Kevin. Spencer McCain was murdered in Owings Mills, Maryland, June 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Spencer. Victor LaRosso III was murdered July 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Vito. Freddie Blue, Covington, Georgia, July 2015. No officer has been charged with the crime for killing Freddie. Jonathan Sanders was murdered in Mississippi, July 2015. No officers have been charged with the killing of Jonathan. I had the opportunity to witness the solidarity between the police chief in New York City. People get tired, and sometimes a little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. But I can promise you that that is the least that a person can do. We got to vote. We got to vote. We got to stand. We got to make sure that each and every one of us gets out there and vote. We got to make sure that each and every one of us is able to do better and to have better and to be better. That does not mean that we're not accountable for our own behaviors. Make sure you vote. Make sure you wear your mask. Make sure you pray while we're out there protesting. What are our demands? What do we want? What does it look like? At some point, this is going to slow down. It takes a whole lot of energy to put your life on hold. Especially during a time when people have lost their jobs, their income is at an all-time low. People feel like they're not being supported in a way that could help us transition from the old norm to the new norm. Right now we're emotional, rightfully angry, and we make decisions that help us to feel good. We've been traumatized. I have never seen a person die in life. It's not that I don't know that death is a part of life, but I've never seen it at the hands of another man, woman who was clearly not in his right mind. And now that you've done the work of a satanic spirit, you are alone. That's what Satan does. He convinces you that you are in your right mind. And when he gets what he wants out of you, he leaves you. What are we going to accomplish once the flames die down? And better yet, who will be responsible to ensure that the flames don't die? This is a good place right now. We're in a good place. We got energy. You know, um, what kind of sacrifices are we going to be making once we get back to work? It's real easy to kick up dust, so to speak, when other things are not pulling at us. But I know it's one day at a time, one moment at a time, one thought at a time, one action at a time. Um, Before I end this, I'm going to pray for the repairman who came by to look at my door. I said, and it is my goal to pray for one person. He shared his concerns, his fears over the virus. And even though I didn't agree with him, I understood him. So my prayer for him is that even though you are afraid, I pray that you know that fear is satanic. I pray that you are healthy and whole. I don't remember his name, and I don't think it would be fair if I call out his name. I pray that you are safe in your endeavors, and all of your concerns are dealt with in a manner that is healthy and helpful for you. That's the prayer for my repairman. I ask that you pray for me. Pray that I say the things that will encourage change. That I'm not just talking and taking up YouTube airspace. I would like to get better and be better. I would like this, hopefully, as I grow in this endeavor, I hope that I can be a part of the change and not a part of the problem. I want to be here for the long haul, because if we can stick this out, do we have to take up a YouTube petition? I don't know what that looks like, but it sounds like a great idea. Joe Biden, Mr. Joe Biden, watch your words. Be careful of what you say. Think before you speak. I'm going to pray for you next, and I need to pray for President Trump. But I'm not going to do it this time. Watch your walk, Joe Biden. I support our endeavors. I thank you for the unity that has developed. It is my prayer that we continue to go and grow together. If you got anything out of this particular video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please leave constructive criticism, constructive critiques. Give me some suggestions. I can't do this by myself. I appreciate you. I love you. I love you with the love of the Lord. I wish my videos could be pretty. I wish they could just be fancy. I had one video, my wrap was slipping off my head. My glasses was crooked. But I thought the message would be more important than my appearance. I will talk to you later. Be safe and do the best you can to have an awesome day.